Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call tomorrow night. And we're going to be talking about the different financial structures that are showing themselves as new across the board, and deciphering what is actually going on. When we stay in gratitude, everything shifts. Now, a lot of people are grateful for things in and out, kind of like a little bit here, a little bit there. So when things happen, they're filled with gratitude, and then they kind of move away from it until, something spectacular happens. And then they're in gratitude again. Gratitude is a state of being. And the more we practice being in it, you'll find that your suffering leaves. And gratitude unlocks the fullness of this life. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Melody Biddy. There is a gift in everything. Life is overflowing with goodness. Even in those moments that appear the darkest and bleakest. The discovery to finding this goodness is to consciously seek it. Open your mind and explore how the challenge you're facing in this now moment is real, deeply, eternal, loving in disguise. When we begin to practice looking for the deep, eternal loving, our minds in the moment stop focusing on what's wrong and then begin focusing on what's right. In one moment, we begin seeing reality and ourselves in a totally new light. We find the eyes of gratitude, and everything we see comes alive. Whenever this life shows its dark, sad, depressing side, try giving thanks for this darkness. It will soon pass, like all experiences in this life. Everything will come and go as long as we can stop holding on to them. It is our minds that make them stay, and forces a convoluted judgment onto our experience of reality. Darkness has its purpose. It's to accentuate the most amazing, sparkling, brilliant light. Without darkness, we would not see light, nor appreciate any fun, good, peaceful days when they arrive. Peer into your darkest, most difficult moments, which you've had this past year, and find the deeply eternal loving inside each one. What is the difference between a curse, and we don't use blessing because be less, that's another trick on humanity, occurs and a deeply eternal loving. What's the difference? It's simply the time, angle, and perspective we're viewing it from. Try to see how every challenging experience is forcing a new strength, creativity, or talent to grow inside us. When we give thanks to the darkness, then the real miraculous things begin to happen. We no longer run from anything in this world. We stop playing the victim game because we understand how everything in this life is happening for us and not to us. This all-intelligent universe is designed to support us in creating our ultimate experience of life. By having a natural, thankful energy for every experience we meet, life will spontaneously return the favor. It will increase our manifesting abilities to attract even more goodies into our lives. The attitude of gratitude is one of the most powerful manifesting vibrations that we can tap into. Be thankful for what we do have, and we'll manifest even more amazing things. Live 24 hours in joy, and you will be ascended and astounded how magical this mundane, ordinary life truly is. It's always made to look like doom and gloom, isn't it? How many times have we gone through situations where it's the end of the world and things are going to end, and it goes on and on and on, and it passes, and then another one comes and it passes. Gratitude is the foundation to a happy, fulfilling experience. When we are not practicing gratitude, then it doesn't matter how much success we achieve in the outer world. If we are not wearing our gratitude glasses, then it doesn't matter how amazing our lives are. We cannot see or feel it. Nothing truly matters more than our perspective on reality. The ego is programmed to be constantly on the prowl for something better, faster, and more amazing. The ego is designed to never be satisfied, ever. By training our minds and egos to be grateful for what is here now, then no matter what we manifest or don't manifest, we will be happy with our lives, no matter how they turn out. You know, there's different approaches, but there's 5 secrets to the attitude of gratitude. And the first one is choose to live life as a gratitude adventure. This discovery is all about taking on this gratitude challenge as an adventure in consciousness. There is no right or wrong way to live this life. Yet by practicing having gratitude for ourselves, other people, situations, events, messages, words, actions, behaviors, and Facebook commentary, we begin experiencing divine grace in action. This takes a very advanced soul to walk this path, as it's about acknowledging that every experience is a gift given directly to you from the God source. We just never know what gifts we are needing to receive each day, and this is what makes life so precious, a real adventure. Each person we meet is deeply eternal loving in disguise, sent from the divine. With the right questioning and listening, we will hear the personal message meant just for you to help you see the sacred being you truly are. When this life is an adventure in deepening and expanding your experience of gratitude, you can be open to accepting all of life. And trust that everything life brings to you is intended to enrich your life, even if it does not first appear that way to the ego mind. Create a daily gratitude focus every morning before your feet get out of bed and touch the floor. Choose one thing that will be your gratitude focus of your entire day. Find that one thing that you feel the most grateful for in your life right now, and practice returning to the thought and feeling of it all throughout your day. Milk that thought until there is no juice left inside of it. Your gratitude focus may change with each new day, yet keep to that one which you started with in each morning. The deeper you can dive into one thing you're truly grateful for and remain with it throughout your day, the easier it becomes to slip into a constant state of appreciation again. This is training your gratitude muscles, so to speak. The more frequently we practice returning to our first feeling of gratitude, the more magnified it gets and slowly creates a profound shift in our energy and consciousness. Check your gratitude meter. As many times as you can throughout your day, check in with your level of gratitude. Ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 100, how thankful am I for everything that is in my life right now? If you're anything less than 100%, start making a mental and emotional list of what you are grateful for. Think of anything that makes your heart sing just a little bit. The answers might be as simple as my health, clean air to breathe. My heart is still beating. I have feet to walk on, and I am alive. We can also turn all those things that we are ungrateful for upside down by simply honoring them as sacred teachers on our spiritual path. As we keep checking our gratitude meter throughout the day, we create a higher state of awareness about what we are thankful for, which helps us to move consistently back into that peak state. Once your mind gets hooked on the habit of thinking about things that it's grateful for, it will be easier to remain in a state of 100% gratitude 24 hours a day. Reset the complaining mind to thankful thinking. Most of us have a complaining mind. We are constantly complaining about everything. We get into it so deeply we don't realize it. It's not we do it intentionally, it's subconsciously. We get in the habit, just like we can get in the habit of being 24/7 in gratitude. We get in the habit, the mind is constantly complaining about everything. This isn't right, that isn't right, this is bad, that's not good. So our minds are probably already somewhat addicted to complaining. It thinks its job is to notify you about every little thing it believes is wrong, imperfect, or probably could make you happier if it wasn't missing from your life. When you try to resist, judge, or ignore these complaining thoughts, you'll find that they resurface again in a new form fairly soon. To free your mind from any complaint saboteur forever, simply investigate what the mind really needs, wants, and desires. This complaint is actually coming from a smaller, helpless part of you who is secretly trying to ask for what you want. Yet this voice feels so small and powerless that it cannot actually speak it. So the next time you hear yourself complain about something, purposely shift your focus to what it is that you truly want to feel inside yourself in that moment. Gratitude is always a good one. If you don't know what you're missing, to think about what your heart is thankful for, in just a few moments, you'll reset your mind to the program of thankful thinking and finding the good, simple things in this life again. The secret here to retain your brain is in how long you can relax into the feeling of being grateful. Be honest and sincere with yourself and investigate what your heart really is thankful for. Every time you hear a complaint, say to yourself, honestly, I don't care to continue being unhappy. I'm actually really grateful for XYZ, whatever it may be. If you are really stuck in a rut and cannot feel any feeling of gratitude, just be curious and ask yourself, what would it feel like to be grateful for this life? What would it feel like to be grateful for this life? Gratitude is like the sun in the sky. It's always present, yet sometimes it's hidden from our vision by the dark clouds. The mind can get very cloudy when we are always focused on complaints. Find the light in everything, and you will set your mind free. Make gratitude your top priority. Make gratitude your top priority. Your level of commitment equals the degree of success that you'll experience in manifesting what you want out of your life. Your level, I call it more devotion. Your level of devotion equals the degree of success that you'll experience in manifesting what you want out of your life. A commitment is a deep shift in consciousness towards the awareness of what your heart wants. Making a commitment to gratitude can only happen if gratitude becomes one of the most important things in your life. When something is a priority in your life, it takes precedence over everything. This means you're incorporating the no matter what philosophy, meaning no matter what happens, you are choosing to be grateful. No matter what they say or do, you can be thankful for something. Your dedication and devotion to gratitude also acts as a massive magnet for what is good and beautiful. When you are 100% committed to living in gratitude, you instantly become a magnet for what you love and desire, which then makes it even easier to remain in devotion. Being grateful for the ability to be committed creates an even more powerful magnetizing energy. Focus on the experience of gratitude. The experience of gratitude is the most important thing in our lives all day today. See, it's all about how we direct our attention. Where does it go? Who's directing our attention? Who do you think most of the time is directing our attention? Well, it's a good guess, the ego mind. It's directing our attention. It's telling us what to look at, how to feel, and it takes us through the whole gambit. And I find when you stop yourself and you're complaining about something, right? You could be just doing it with yourself complaining. Stop right there, take a deep breath, and then step back and say, what am I grateful for? Why would we put our energies, which majority of us do, in fact, none of us are exempt from all of it. What would we do? We decided to shift gears and be thankful and grateful for everything. Now, obviously, that's training the ego mind. And it's operating from the heart mind. Through the heart mind, you can train the ego mind. This is the only way. And so the ego mind becomes a very, very powerful tool for us. So when you direct your attention, it could be the simplest thing. It could be just maybe just a little itty bitty thing that you're complaining about, right? And you step back and you say, right in that moment, what am I grateful for? This changes our whole perspective on this life. Focusing our energies on being in deep gratitude rather than in complaining mode. And if we let ourselves get away far enough with the ego mind, we find ourselves complaining about everything. And I don't mean going out there and verbally, it's mostly within ourselves. We're complaining about something. You know, this isn't right, and this doesn't work right. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And how come this is the way it is? And you imagine how much energy we expend doing that on a daily basis. And it's a choice for us, every one of us. It's a choice. It's nothing different than, I'm not going to drink coffee anymore, caffeinated coffee anymore. People, it just races my heart. So it's tough at first, but then they stop drinking it. It's just like, I used to be a real, dedicated dairy lover. Cheeses and creams and sauces and all that lovely stuff. And I knew that long term for this life, it was going to affect my physical well-being. So I quit it. I stopped it. Do I miss it? On occasion. Like with anything that we do that we decide we're not going to do anymore. Yeah, it's there. You might see somebody eating some dairy product or something, and you go, oh, those were the days. But you know that the decision you made was a healthy one. So these are just, and what you're grateful for is that you were able to make that decision, and you feel good about the decision. Yet in the beginning you're challenged by it, and then eventually it becomes a different habit that you have decided to bring into your life. It's like when you look, you have it. We all have a specified desire to have a certain kind of weather, right, in the day. Some people say they'd like to wake up every day and have it be sunny. Other people say they'd like to have some rain and clouds and snow. It just depends. But instead of that, you wake up and you're deeply grateful that you're alive, that body is still functioning, so that you can experience the physical form in this material physical life. And when we, each of us, decide in our own way that what's more important to us, the now, because we know that really is all we have, is the now, moment to moment, being in deep gratitude in the now. Because we all know, and we can say this 1 billion times, none of us can guarantee that we're going to wake up the next morning. So why would we spend so much time contemplating tomorrow and yesterday? What we do in the now becomes yesterday. And what is yesterday is gone. It's easy for us to hold on to things, right? And we take them for granted. When you go to bed every night, right? And you really don't have any pains or anything or sickness, but you don't really think about that. You just say, you go to bed. But then when you get sick, you have a sore throat, or you have a toothache or something that keeps you up during the night, it really gives appreciation. It motivates us for gratitude and appreciation when we don't have those things. When we don't. It's very easy for us to take everything for granted. We get used to it. Say you drove a clunker just about all your life, right? And you drove it, right? And were you grateful that you had it? Maybe not. But you had it. You had to, and then you get an opportunity where you get into this luxurious high-end vehicle. And you go, wow, this is phenomenal. But after a period of time, it's like what you did with your clunker. You take it for granted. Now it's just a vehicle. The reason this happens is because we are not in gratitude 24/7. We're not in gratitude. And this is why we get bored with things, because we are not in gratitude 24/7. This is why things at first seem wonderful and then they kind of fade out. Our interest isn't as great. It's like you have a child. Not much different. And the child wants a certain kind of toy, and eventually the parents get this toy, whether it's a birthday or a special occasion or a holiday, whatever. The child gets a toy, And the child plays with that toy only, and all the rest of the toys in the toy box stay there. That used to be front and center with the child, but this one is now new front and center. Eventually, it becomes, in most cases, passé. It's not as much interest anymore. Then the child focuses on something else, and the game continues. It's no different than us. We focus on certain things. We have material things, and we're all excited about it, and then it just kind of fades out because we're not in an attitude of gratitude. That's why. Now we're in an attitude of gratitude 24/7. You look at things differently. It doesn't mean you're walking around, writing down 40, 50,000 different gratitudes. You're just in a state of gratitude. So everything is always new. Everything is always fantastic and spectacular. Even the things that are in the darkest of the dark. You say, what could I be grateful for this? What is this teaching me that I can be grateful for? Would we rather spend our time in gratitude than complaining? What we don't have, what we do have, why we don't have this, why we don't have that. Many of us are not grateful for exactly the way we are. We're always being pushed by the ego mind to try to do more, be better, be stronger, become more advanced, knowing. And that's all a push from the ego mind. Now, a question to ask yourself. Years ago when I was doing seminars, this is a question to ask yourself. Do I dress for myself or do I dress for everyone else? Do I dress for myself or do I dress for everyone else? Okay? That's an interesting question because we're not just talking about the material, what you put on, what you wear. We're talking about emotional everything. Do I dress for myself or do I dress for everyone else? And at the end, you be honest with yourself. You say, well, you in a lot of cases, you find yourself the answer coming is you dress for everyone else. We're always, in most cases, we're in a pleasing mode, right? And we would like to please everybody so that they accept us. And we're always afraid that we won't be accepted, that we're turned down. And this is all through life in many things. What we're afraid of being turned down or being said no to or not being accepted. Now, when you're in a state of gratitude, you're grateful and thankful for you and that body you're in. You're grateful and thankful that you love yourself deeply and eternally. You're grateful and thankful that you're able to forgive yourself for anything that you've been dragging through this life and with other lives, that you can identify that and forgive yourself for whatever it is you think wasn't good to do. This starts with us. Since we're all facets of each other, the gods we are inside these bodies, it starts with us. Yes, and we're programmed. It's not like, it's not like we have a choice in the beginning. It's just mandated or directed to us that we're going to be programmed by other people's thoughts. And since the culture, the social structure of the planet is the way it is, we're taught in a circle by other people's thoughts. handed down generation after generation. Okay, so grandma and grandpa's parents programmed them along with everybody else around them. And then they passed it on to your parents, who then passed it on to you, and it is a circle. And it's always a circle because the societal structure, this social structure on this planet, dictates that, right? You're dictated to be in a specific form, in a box, and to respond to certain ways, period. And if you don't respond certain ways, you're considered what? By society, weird, okay? Not conforming, rebel, right? Question things. And sometimes I will contradict myself on purpose to see how closely people are listening. And to see how awake they truly are. I mean, I've experienced myself and other people that people have said, how can you be grateful when you're homeless? Right? How can you be grateful when you're homeless? Cold out there, or it's rainy, or the weather doesn't, it's not cooperating, and they ran out of soup at the missions, because you go to the missions a lot when you're homeless, you get food. Yeah, it's food, right? And you're deeply grateful that you have food. That's another thing. See, all these things come up when you move into an attitude of gratitude. They're not judgment things. They're understandings. Is that you eat food every day, right? We eat food because we need the energy out of the food in order to sustain these bodies. So we eat. It really is taken for granted until the time comes when we don't have any food to eat, or we don't have the money to buy the food to eat. So that when we do get access to food in a homeless state, it's like the grand wonderfulness that you're actually eating a bowl of soup, which tastes like gourmet at the time. When you lay your head on a pillow in a bed and you have light and you're warm and you're comfortable, most people don't even think to be grateful for all of that because they don't know what it's like not to have it. That's the key. Not to have it. And most people fear that greatly. They fear being homeless. They fear not having, and not all the time, just when it becomes maybe, okay, because of extenuating circumstances, because of economy, because of this or that, or job loss, you find yourself in that position. But by staying choosing to be in a state of gratitude rather than fear, struggle and stress, worry, anxiety, you come out of it. And it's better than it was before. There are certain keys, there are certain specific markers for us to check on for ourselves. When you stay in a state of gratitude, no matter what's going on outside, out in this big, huge storm and darkness and lightning and thunder, you're just happier than picking a poke in the center of it all. It's just you're super quiet and relaxing and serene. until we step out there, the ego mind, and we start what? Living in the yesterday and tomorrow and suffering. But when we start to focus, because we choose to, on the fact that be grateful for everything, because it may not be there the next time you look there. You ever been in a situation where you were talking with someone that you've known for a very long time, right? Could be a relative or a friend, and then the next thing you know, you get a call and they had passed away. And what do you say? I just talked with them. And now they're out of body. We never know. We're in deep gratitude for ourselves. We're in deep gratitude for the love that we are. We're in deep gratitude in the very moment. And that's why we stay in the now and practice to be in the now. To stay in gratitude for every single moment we have in these bodies. And we know what the other side is, right? We know the other side is complaining. We know the other side is being guided by the ego mind, where we don't have enough. We don't feel we have enough, right? We don't feel secure enough. We don't feel happy enough. We're disappointed in our weight. We're disappointed in our bodies. We're disappointed in our relationships. We're disappointed in life. And we can literally turn that on a dime by taking that energy and focusing on the now and being in deep gratitude 24/7. And you just automatically remind yourself. And it's not like you're constantly repeating everything you're grateful for. It's like you feel in gratitude all day long. Maybe some of us believe that it's more exciting to be complaining. I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel right, does it? Does it feel good to you to complain? Do you really, is it like, oh, I love complaining? I don't believe so. We all know how easy it is to take things for granted because none of us are exempt from it. We all take things for granted. You live in a house, right? But, how about being in a position where you don't have any place to live, and outdoors is your house. And then when that passes and you do get into a dwelling, it's like Shangri-La. It can be 10 feet by 10 feet, but it's Shangri-La. It's actually a dwelling that keeps you out of the elements. Doesn't matter if there's bugs, rats, or whatever. It's a dwelling, keeping you out of the elements. And what does that attitude of gratitude do? It shifts everything around you. It shifts it all. Things begin to appear that wouldn't have appeared before when you're in a state of complaint. Gratitude and disgratitude. You call it whatever you want, state of complaint and gratitude. It's our choice. Which one do we choose? I can guarantee you one thing. You'll enjoy this life, this very life that we're in now, so much more. So much more. I'll join you in a meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Practice gratitude. This is by far the most powerful, life-enriching habit we can ever cultivate before our daily schedule. The very first 3 minutes that you are awake, every morning, repeat this thought. I am grateful for this time. I am grateful for this time. As you repeat it in your head, feel how the energy opens your heart and spreads throughout your body. The secret here is to focus on the affirmation the very first thing before you move your body or think about anything. This initial movement creates a positive root foundation that is the subconscious fundamental. It's the fundament for our entire day. The more often we can repeat this magical gratitude affirmation silently or out loud throughout the day, the deeper the attitude of gratitude will naturally grow within us and take over our habitual thought process. You can choose to practice for the next 21 days. Your heart will naturally live in the feeling gratefulness all on its own. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. I am grateful for this time. And we will return here Wednesday, February 8th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. Be good to yourself. Gentle, kind, humble, and generous, and be grateful for this time.